Louisiana Purchase was effectuated, the French government sold the Louisiana Treaty to the United States. You gotta remember that. That's important. And the United States, which is a corporation now, but which was it was forming from the Continental Congress. That's why the presidential succession, starting with John Hanson to George Washington, then George Washington is acknowledged as the first president. Under the Continental Congress, we had multiple presidents. But it wasn't until after what they called the first Constitutional Convention that George Washington became the president on the back of the Constitution written in the blood of Crispus Attucks. Right? Now, this contract is where we get the George Washington challenge from. That at the end of 200 years, if we mix you niggas up, you ain't gonna know from which side of the water you came. Right? This is where you come in with the reclassifications, the scrambling of the minds of the people. You keep telling them what you want them to be. They know who they is, even if they don't say it out loud, because it might cause them to get lynched. But they know who they is. And the grandmamas and the mamas is going to keep it in the minds of the babies in the form of the redemption songs that's whispered in the ear of the babes by the young mothers. Because the soldiers are going to be born because we were still at war. And some of these soldiers that started all as pawns in the game is going to evolve in military understanding to the degree where he becomes a master strategist who can offer his strategic advancements over the corporation by territorial rights, subjugating and overturning the admiralty jurisdiction. And now you got ISIS on the land. Because ISIS is on the land. Big Mama is home, having reclaimed her seat. So now, on behalf of all the tribes, we just waiting on Big Mama to sit in her sacerdotal seat and show the world, which is a metaphor for a bigger formula. As above, so below. As within, so without.
Shout out Dr. Kia Pruitt in the building. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the Empress.
Now remember, when she stopped her advance on the corporate government, the next Big Mama can't stop until she sit in the sacerdotal seat. The sacerdotal seat is not in D.C. It was in Philadelphia.
That's right.
The audacity of one of these Big Mamas to walk up in this building with these people's security there. Walk up there and sit on that seat while security telling you no. Knowing that as soon as enough of the tribal mothers remember, they're going to come out in mass support to serve the eviction on the corporation. Because they already Big Mama home. We just got to remember our culture. It's right there in our face. Right? So now, since the baton was passed from one empress, it got to go to another empress. But she got to be Blue House. She can't be Red House. Because the Red House got infiltrated. Right? And since the Red House got infiltrated, don't mean the Blue House didn't get infiltrated. It just means that you had to keep passing the baton from Big Mama to Big Mama until one of them sat on the seat. And we finally got there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
Another thing too, Raw, is I got a video out on the Empress Radici talking about how she got infiltrated and how that when she was going to file charges over in the international courts, right before that, 2 days, the feds raided her house and stole all of her money. Like, well, she didn't even have enough money to even get out of the country. They confiscated all of her like documents.
How
And
long
then
is the
look, when she
video?
tried to go, it's about 7 minutes. I was gonna cut it, but it's like 7. The video is like 20 some minutes on the video side. It's called the Empress Radici with Bobby Hemmitt. Bobby Hemmitt. It's the longer version of the tape I just played. It's on the video side. I'll link it in the descriptions on this video of the show. But she go like 7 minutes and talk about breaking down how right before she was about to go file, like after all this stuff that we just talked about with the AI and with the Supreme Court, she was finna go when they revoked it. She was finna go over them to international courts. And 2 or 3 days before she was about to get on the plane to go to international courts, the FBI raided her house, all of her businesses. They stole like a $250,000 worth of her money that she had in different locations, to where she couldn't even go. And because, like you said, we at war. We at war with these people. So, and then when she go to try to, hey, what's up? Like, how do I get my money or make a complaint about it? They say, oh, we don't know nothing about it. Like, they had like the raid never happened. And look, they were supposed to notify the sheriff because the FBI can't really arrest nobody. They won't tell nobody that. So they had to notify the sheriff before they came to raid the Empress. They didn't even notify the sheriff, so they broke all kind of like guidelines, because that's why you always, when you see the feds, the sheriff always be with them, because the sheriff's got to make the sheriff is really the real police. The FBI not really police. They are
For the
foreign
marshal.
agency. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right,
Sometimes they come with marshals. The marshals is the real federal police. They're the real federal police. The sheriff he got a county. Right. Mm-hmm. And back in the day, you might have had a sheriff that might have had 4 or 5 counties.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's so many people that they've gave a county to each sheriff. But back in the day, a sheriff could be over a sizable portion of land, like a game warden.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The game wardens, the only reason why they here is because they was established to stop the colonizers from slaughtering all the damn animals. That's what created game wardens. Somebody had to stop the colonizers from basically extincting every native species of the land. So they created the game wardens to stop them. And that's why their number one thing is poaching. If they catch you poaching, they don't have to arrest your ass. They can light your ass up.
Right? Yeah, they take your boat, your car, they take your truck. Man, these people
they don't need a warrant because you already on their territory. They operating from the law of the land. They're not operating from admiralty jurisdiction, and this is the same as cattle rustling laws. Cattle and rustling laws is derived from the rules that the tribes had for having livestock and owning your own personal asset of livestock. Every tribe didn't deal in livestock. And that's how you had different tribes, like the Buffalo tribe dealt in buffalo, livestock. You couldn't come into this tribe's buffalo territory and run all of their buffalo to your territory. That wasn't permitted because the Buffalo clan had a right to stop you with death if need be. Right? So this is where all of those DNR rules is different from regular law enforcement rules, because they're not derived from the corporation. They derive from the tribal law of the land, and they got different consequences than common judicial law that we experience on a regular basis. Game warden to light your ass up. He catch you shooting a borderline extinct animal. They won't even ask you no questions. Light your ass up. Go out to Yellowstone and shooting at one of them protected animals like the wolf. and let them see you. They gonna light your ass up. They ain't gonna ask you, freeze you under arrest. Now, if you already killed it and they catch you with it on the truck, they might arrest your ass. But while you in the act of killing it, they're not gonna arrest you. They're gonna kill your ass, stop you from killing it.
That makes sense. They more guarded than the police, dog. Like.
If you go to Texas, man, and anybody in the chat from Texas, tell me if I'm wrong. If you go to Texas and you go in somebody's yard with a horse and try to leave with that motherfucker, they not finna tell you freeze. They're gonna light your ass up and not gonna do a day in jail. Cattle rustling law still apply.
Yeah.
That's comes from the tribal law of the land. It don't come from this regulations of the corporation.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, we had 7,000 people on tonight. We got about 2,000 on right now, I think. Everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button right now if you're new to the channel. Everybody on, we got everybody on. Hey, everybody send Chief $5. If you can't, send them $1. If you guys got it, send them 100. Right? Put them in the game till the next time we come back on. We got this Cash App and PayPal on the screen. Hey, I got another question for you, Chief. So it's a lot of people now, since they found out the money, the fiat, this fiat we've been operating, we don't really got no money. So now they converting like a lot of people are converting a lot of their money over to silverback and goldback and, silver coins, etc. Native American coins that's worth money. They pretty much getting more into real money. So what's your take on them getting people converting, like if they got over 100,000 just sitting around of this fiat currencies, like although some of it we're gonna switch over to the new system and they gonna transfer it out. But do you think it's a good idea to buy silver now with the Venezuela thing with JP Morgan in Tennessee setting up a refinery?
Me and Rishathon been telling people to buy silver at least 3.5, 4 years. I was telling them about gold the whole time, but I was also telling them about silver and copper and other metals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also telling them about precious stones and gemstones, not necessarily diamonds, rubies, and sapphire, but you have other stones that carry frequency and energy that we want to be in contact with. And we was telling them about all of this stuff so we could have a head start in understanding the management of wealth. The people that have fiat currency that converted to silver and gold right now is smart as F. They financially savvy to the point they go, because remember, the greater the demand, the greater the cost to obtain it. If it's not in the supply, in order to match the demand, it automatically drives up the value.
That's right.
And if you got fiat currency, you'll be able when the new banks come online after the old banks, you'll be able to exchange it dollar value for dollar value. But the dollar value of that gold and that silver going to continue to rise as people switch over to the new currency systems with the gold backs, with the silver and the gold coins, right? And these are going to be, you're going to always remember commemorative coins is like investing in a savings bond, especially when it's made from precious metals with a certification card to come with it and all that, because that's telling them, because the art that's added to it adds to the value of the material. So they give them out as commemorative coins, gold ones, silver ones. Some of them got gold and silver on them, but they put them in little display boxes for coin collectors, because the coin collectors are the ones that know the coins that got the real raw material, like the original penny that was cast in copper was cast in real copper. But the penny that they printing today is not even worth a penny to print. You can print like 12 of them for a penny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they discontinued the penny, because they wasn't using the copper penny no more, because the size of the copper that equals a penny would have been about the size of a microdot.
Hmm.
So they can't give you a penny worth of copper no more. Without it being so small, you got to hold it with tweezers. That's a penny worth of copper now, right?
Yeah,
But remember,
yeah.
the size of the penny hasn't changed.
No.
So that shows you, that's called inflation. This is why it's going to be illegal to lend money and borrow money, unless it's like your mama, you borrow something from your mama till you get to your place to give it back to her or something like that. But banks won't be able to lend money and they won't be able to borrow money in order to keep the inflation down. There will be no such thing as an interest rate because there will be no credit, right? You won't have to buy anything on credit. Anything that you want, you should be able to afford, right? And by understanding this, it's changing your whole understanding of life and how it's working versus not working out. You know, keeping in mind all things come together for the greater good, right? And the golden heart paves the way of the golden path, the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road is a theoretical road to wealth. The city of Oz. Oz means strength, the strong city. The strong city is New York City because that's what Strong Island is, which is Long Island. That's what the tribes in New York call it, the Shinnecock. They call it Strong Island, even though it's Long Island, right? But there's 5 boroughs. 5 boroughs is 5 asses, which is 5 mules, which is 5 Democrats, which is 5 donkeys, which is 5 dummies.
I see it. I see it. I see the alchemy.
But the dummy is really a clown dressed up to look like a dummy. But you know us, we clown around when we hang around with the underground.
Right? Digital on the ground. Hey,
Right.
hey, we about to get up out of here, y'all. Hey, what I was gonna say, it was one more thing I want to ask you, Rod. Yeah, so pretty much everything's going as scheduled. We just sitting in the saddle, riding this out, riding these suckers the last little kick and scream. They ain't really kicking and screaming no more now. They got past that part now. They just walking off slow, just walking off, getting off our land slow now. Seems like they ain't even fighting back or trying to do nothing to me. It seems like to me.
So they created a grand spectacle in the political arena to get all of the people's attention to focus somewhere. Why do they want us to look to Venezuela?
Right.
Look back and review it again from a different lens. They want us to watch Venezuela so we could understand how when we was invaded, the foreigners decided to run the government in the interim. They was never supposed to be here this long, but because of the war, we was not prepared to rerun the government to the same level we had now. So we had to relearn it. And it took us only 100 years. Less than 100 years, because they've been telling us the parts of the story in different places. We just didn't remember enough to put it all together. Everybody gave some, and some gave all. Right? And so you got to remember, just because you don't see the war, don't mean that the war ain't been taking place. Just because you don't understand the level of warfare 500 years will develop to, don't mean that we ever stop fighting. We never stop fighting. You have people that still have active lawsuits in court that can be traced back all the way to the 1800s, where they've been suing these people for the fraud that they used, for committing the fraud that they committed on their family, trying to steal their land. Now remember, Martin said they undergirded the European peasantry with land and infrastructure. Where did they get the land from when all tribes told them we don't sell land? Right. So where did they get the land from? Right? They keep telling us that they stole our land, but it's one part of theft that this land is not doing. It's not concealed. When I look out my window, it's still there. When I walk down the street, I see it everywhere. The land's still here. They didn't steal our land. They stole our identity that connects us to the land. But as an old Mississippian, Mississippi clay dirt walking, I know what I'm talking about when I tell you we was already here, because I did this so many times that nobody would believe I am who I say I am until they see what we said we did.
Right.
Y'all have to see.
And on that note, we could drop the mic and walk off stage. Hey, man, free all of our political prisoners, man. You know, we still fighting. We ain't never gave up, and we gonna fight. We gonna fight, man. Let's fight. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. Let's keep making everybody aware. All we gotta do is keep making more people aware. The more people come online, the faster this shit go down. I'm telling you, the more people that we get online, I'm telling you, the faster it go down. The 100 monkey effect, right, Rod?
Yeah, the 100 monkey effect leads to critical mass. Critical mass is a nuclear fusion or fission. It's the spreading out of the nuclear fallout, the radiation wave, the wave that comes off the central blast and the energy field across the radio wave through the air, which is the airwaves. And the ones that's hearing it is the dry bones in the valley. So we speaking over social media to carry the message across the airwaves to the valley of the dry bones so they can rise up and be an exceedingly great army, the great army of Armageddon, the final conflict and the final showdown, right? Where they feed the imposters to all of the people of the land because they're going to have to make them known to us and get out our way. So all you frauds and all you fakes, all you imposters, when the National Guard get arrested, the last few deep state actors, and y'all riding through the neighborhood thinking we don't know who you is, and you been a plant the whole time, and you know you a plant, and you know you a rotten, crooked SOB. You got to deal with these angry vice lords, GDs, Keystones, Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, Latin Counts, Black Souls, Four Corner Hustlers. You're going to have to deal with them. Hell's Angels. You're going to have to deal with them. You shouldn't have been starting shit in our neighborhoods, turning our children against each other. We know who the frauds are. They all on file. They already exposed themselves by putting their name on contracts. Now you about to see all of their names put out in the open in the contracts that they signed with these people to subjugate the people of the land, even if it's what you call your brotherhood oath in the lodge. They gonna show who the dirty players is. It's gonna come out. The infiltrators, the imposters. We done already been won the game. The game been won. And it wasn't about winning the game. This was about finding the imposters, getting the frauds out, the fakes, the usurpers, the underminers, the dirty motherfuckers out. This is what this has been about this last 5 years. We've been won the game because we ain't never not know who we was, even when they was reclassifying us, telling us we was somebody else. We ain't never stopped being us. That's why our culture continually evolve and grow while everybody else is living off our culture we started 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, or more. They still stuck in
Right.
arrested development in awe at the part of our culture when we created jazz, blues, bluegrass,
Mm-hmm.
country
Yep.
music, folk music, calypso music. Because most people don't know calypso music is a spinoff of reggae music, which is a
Mm-hmm.
conglomeration of music called island music from the different feel of the different tribes from the islands, right? So
Mm.
when you put it all together, we never stopped being us. We just was misidentified and misclassified because they didn't think that we would be able to assert our territorial jurisdiction and reclaim the land following the oral tradition. And that's why I say he spake and the thing became, because he was speaking the truth. And out of his mouth came a two-edged sword. It cut both ways. It cut down the wicked and it cut the captives free. Right?
Mm.
So the campaign the
Wow.
whole time has been to cut down the wicked and set the captives free by telling the truth and shaming the devil, standing in the position of right with the blood and the right to assert the jurisdictional claim of the great mother to restore the balance back to the land and among the people. Now it's up to the people to acknowledge that we followed every step of the way until we got Big Mama to sit on the sacerdotal seat to reclaim the position of authority and jurisdictional power of the tribes. And now we can start finding the qualified family representative that's going to form your new political framework for the next age. They call them your
Right.
tribal mothers. You got to have
Right.
tribal mothers. If you see a dude running around talking about he a chief and he don't got a tribal mother, just know he not following the customs.
Yeah,
Because you
he's
can't be
most
the
likely
chief
fraud.
without the tribal mother telling somebody you the chief.
That's right.
It don't work that way. You can't just come up and assert your own jurisdiction. You can, and if you live up to it, a tribal mother is gonna come up and tell everybody he is the chief he say he is.
Yeah.
You're
Yep,
gonna be
that's fact.
certified by some tribal mother somewhere. So if he tell you he don't got a tribal mother, he haven't caught on to the culture yet.
Yeah.
That means he's in two
Definitely not.
things. Either he's not fully developed yet for Big Mama to sign off on him, which is the case that I would hope, or he faking the funk, pretending to be like we ain't gonna never see who he is.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
eyes on me.
Somebody said Vicky Dillon. Hey, y'all, on that note, we about to get up out of here. Everybody sent Chief $5. We got 2,000 people in, man. Put them in the game, man. That'll take care of them right there. Put them all the way in the game. Send them $100 if you got it. Send them $1. Whatever you got, man. We take whatever. Hey, we love y'all. Peace and love throughout the balanced universe to all. Free Dr. Malachi Z. York. We waiting on to hear back on the Larry Hoover situation. We appreciate Trump for putting in the play already on that play, right? For Larry. We waiting on to hear something about Jeff. I feel like we about to hear something shake on that too on Jeff Ford's case. A lot of these things.
I think his daughter should be coming out to give us a health report on him. Cause she is the one, I think she is official spokesperson. So if you want us to know whatever was going on with him when they reported him passing out, she'll be the one delivering the message.
You say, what's going on, Chief?
So, you know, the White House caught on fire last week.
No, I did not know.
The White House caught on fire right after the shooting.
Oh, nope, I didn't know that.
And those are signals. The guy that did that, that shot the 2 National Guards, was CIA sleeper cell asset that was supposed to activate in Afghanistan. But for some reason, somebody with some rank in the Central Intelligence decided to bring a bunch of them over here. Now they arrested another one that actually came over on the same plane with him they caught him before he activated.
Okay.
Right? They knew he was about to activate off the last guy. They didn't catch the guy from earlier, I think it was yesterday or today, that shot up the children. They're trying to label it gang violence in California. Not gang violence, sleeper cells. They keep attacking the children because they're trying to tell us to take our children out of their miseducation system.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why they're attacking the children. It's trying to make the news make the people so repulsed by the Department of Education. That's why first thing Trump did when he got back in this time, one of the first things was to dismantle the federal Department of Education. You remember that? The reason he did that is because he wanted to take they had a slush fund, and they're using the money out of the slush fund to get children psychiatric treatment.
Oh my God.
When they go in for psychiatric treatment, they're going to give them Ritalin, they're going to give them Prozac or Adderall.
Okay.
But they're also going to go through a process called therapy, where they use what's called neuro-linguistic program to program the sleeper assassin. It's easier to do it with children than adults.
Okay.
So this is why you got teenagers as primary cause of all of the incidents at the schools. Right? Now, all of them, I haven't found one yet that I've researched that wasn't on one of those prescription medications that they use. Now, when you go back to the MK Ultra files, Ritalin, Prozac, and Adderall were all used in the testing of MK Ultra mind control programming. You know, as well as other things too. They did alcohol. The one chemical they said does the opposite is marijuana. They say that the THC in marijuana makes a person uncontrollable for the purposes of espionage and infiltration and programmed assassins, because it makes them start thinking outside the box. And then they can spot the thing that they don't agree with that they've been programmed to do. A lot of this stuff that we're seeing is the deep state don't want to go.
Okay.
We don't care that they don't want to go. They're getting the F out of here. Right? So they put up resistance. Right?
Yeah.
Now, they got us on standby for Northeast deep freeze. Right? That's what they're telling us is coming in December for the Northeast, is a deep freeze. That's not natural. Not to the level that they're claiming that it's going to be.
Okay.
We've been here the whole time, and we know how cold it get in December. We know that we don't normally see below zero temperatures to going into January. So we know that that's not normal. But we have other stuff going on too. We got ships that didn't land it, right? And we have ships that's hovering above the planet right outside of the atmosphere, and you can't see them because the ozone layer cloaks them.
Oh.
So you got all this stuff going on. I don't even like talking about no extraterrestrial stuff because we got enough Earth problems that we don't want to deal with. We don't want to address the Earth problems, and we're worried about the ships.
Yes.
We ain't got to worry about them no more. Whenever they want to show up, they here in mass. It's like fleets of them came, and it's still a whole parking lot on the far side of the sun. You know, so they just been sitting there for about a couple of years now, just hovering. And as we go around, they go around on the other side of the sun, so they can always use the glare of the sun to remain cloaked. People are starting to catch them now on high-power telescopes, and they putting it up, and people are like, "Oh, that's just a beam of light. That's just some junk out in space." There's not much junk in outer space. The junkiest place in outer space is the globe, the Earth.
Yes. Yes.
And most of the stuff that we think is outer space is on this side of our atmosphere. But it's just high enough up in the ozone layer where you can't really see it, but you can see reflections of it that look like stars at night. Those are satellites. We got also going on, you mentioned the I think it was the president of Colombia that said, right, but did you know that lady that's the in Mexico is the president, she said it too about a month ago.
No.
Yeah, so This is what we've been telling people: the disclosure is coming. The disclosure is coming. This is soft disclosure. They still haven't hit us with shock and awe yet.
Can you
Shock
tell
and
the people?
awe is when they rip the Band-Aid off and just show you everything that you thought was fake.
Mm,
They show you who all been arrested, who all been Gitmo. When we say Gitmo, we mean they ain't never coming back. You will never see them on earth again.
mm,
Right? Different from the people that was given life sentences.
okay.
Right? Now, you also have going on at the same time, you have a couple of foreign countries that's in civil unrest.
Mm-hmm.
Even Mexico blew up right after the president of Mexico was saying that the real natives was us. So we have all this stuff going on. It's disclosure, but it's not the disclosure that we want to see. We don't want to see it like that.
Okay.
We don't want to be slow dripped.
That's
We
true.
think we don't want to be slow dripped.
Mm.
Just like we thought we didn't want to see no chaos on American soil, and when 9/11 hit, everybody was like, "Oh my God!"
We were shocked. Yeah.
Yeah,
Caught off guard completely.
yeah. Never knowing that it was a homeland inside job.
Mm.
See, just like they told us it was 19. They picked the number 19. So-called people that took over the planes, right?
Right.
Then they say they were all Muslims. If it was Muslims, they wouldn't have used 19. They would have either used 18 or 20.
Hmm.
Because in Islam, 19 is a sacred number. It's the seal of Allah.
Oh,
It's called the sacred seal,
okay.
right? And the only other number they tried the bad luck was the number of the Queen Mother, and that's the 13th zodiacal seat, which gives us the number 13. Because 1 and 3 is 4, and it's 4 X's on the chromosome. So they telling us a whole bunch of stuff, but they ain't showing it to us in the way that we want to see it. So we believe nothing's happening,
Yes.
right? But they still showing us police getting arrested, sheriffs getting arrested, judges getting arrested, judges getting fired. He just fired like 4 of them in D.C. today,
Mm.
right? Immigrations, it might have been more than that, but I think it was at least 4 immigration judges that was fired on the spot in D.C. with no notice.
Whoa.
Now, the thing where people are like, how you get rid of judges? They don't belong in America.
Yes, sir.
Anybody who don't know who the judges is, they barristers. All of these attorneys and barristers was instructed in the first charter of the Bar Association to use the legal system, which they should have called it the illegal system, to take everything from the people of the land.
Hmm.
It was one of the King Georges that issued the charter in I think it was 63 in Savannah, Georgia. Right? And most people not gonna read the bar charters. We don't care nothing about no damn bar charter. What that mean to us? But in English nobility, that's called a letters patent recruitment. Letters patent mean that you get a title of nobility, but it's not heritable.
Hmm.
The other one is, those are barristers, but then they have the ones that's called bankers.
Okay.
The bankers are also honorary nobility. But if you really trace the money back, the ones at the top are the bastard offspring mulattoes called Khazarians today.
Okay.
Right? Those are the ones who run the entire world banking network of centralized banking systems designed from Babylonian money magic to suck the life out of all of the lands. So this is why when you track their history back, everywhere they go, they get kicked out.
Hmm.
And we not supposed to know that these people that's been being kicked out look like us. We ain't never supposed to know that. We supposed to always in our mind come up with a stand-in. That's what we call the Sephardic Jew, which is the Spanish pale-faced Jew,
Mhm.
or a Ashkenazi, right? pale-faced Jew. Those are the front. Like the Rothschilds. Those are the front families.
Okay.
The real ones behind the strings make me look light-skinned and make you look pale.
They're very dark skinned.
Very dark.
Ah.
And they don't like us, especially the women. You can tell when they come around because they will have no female involvement in anything they do that's talking about considerations of power.
Okay.
Right? Because the Earth attack is an attack on the divine feminine.
Mm.
You know, so all of this stuff is falling apart. They trying to fight it, but they right now we passed the point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
We passed what they call the event horizon.
Mm.
It's just any day now. They could just come on a news report. 386 congressmen were executed over the last 5 years and get more, whatever the number is. They prepared us for it by passing, right before Trump took office, they issued a bill on the Senate floor, Congress floor, wherever the hell they did it at. But it was a contingency for a sizable portion of the congressional membership being unable to perform their duties. It's a continuation or continuity of government program. They had to do that because that's another part of soft disclosure. They're telling us that most of the people we seeing ain't the people we seeing.
What do you mean?
They skin masks. They look-alikes. Some people call them clones. They're not clones. There's very few clones.
Okay.
Right. Most of them are body doubles with skin masks on, or there are actual people that look like the person close enough that when they put them on camera, you won't notice the switch out, like Biden.
Right.
Or like Dave Chappelle. Right. They look just enough like the person with just enough time lapse where you might believe it's them.
Okay.
Right. But most people don't question it. They look on the news, oh, that's Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking Jim Carrey in a skin mask. That's Arthur Beck in a skin mask, and several other ones. James Woods played him a couple of times. So they had different people playing that character for 4 years of Joe Biden. And one character came out, he had to grew like almost a foot tall. And nobody noticed it when he walked out of the White House with Jill.
Mm.
How she go from being this tall to him to now she to his chest?
Mm. So what's the point of them having actors to stand in?
The worst thing can happen is mass panic.
Okay.
Walmart issued a statement saying that if they didn't open the government back up, they would not be opening their stores and would only do deliveries. Mm-hmm. And they was followed by a couple more major chains because they expecting to run on the grocery stores. So if they lock them all down, now they got stuff where you ain't getting in there.
Oh, okay. So
they made, Walmart had issued that statement early November. So that's to keep the people from mass panic. When you have mass panic, you have chaos everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to minimize the mass panic and the chaos, you got to slow drip them.
Okay.
You got to coddle them. You got to give them the appearance of business as usual, even though it's not business as usual. It's straight out the 48 Laws of Power. Preach the need for change, but never change too much too fast or the people will rebel. Right? So Trump, everything he doing, he telling us what he's doing every step of the way. Right? But most people don't know how to liquidate a major corporation.
Okay.
Because most of us have never done it before. In America, out of all of the business people in America, how many of them have been through the bankruptcy process and liquidated a major corporation more than once? It's only one. Donald John Quavius. Donald John Quavius.
Donald John Quavius Trump.
He's been through the bankruptcy courts and he understands the process better than any other CEO.
Okay.
Now, remember, before Trump, they was going to do it with Ross Perot.
I remember.
The deep state told him, you're gonna get out of this election or you're going to be dead.
Because he had a great chance of winning. I remember.
Yeah, he was like a landslide ahead in the polls when he dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody else was at 20 and 30%. He was like 40-something%. Then he dropped out the race until he fell behind. I always thought it was a situation of Brewster's Millions, where he got to spend a certain amount of money in order to get all his money. And he had a certain amount of time to do it. Remember Brewster's Millions?
I don't
Richard
remember.
Pryor?
No.
And so Richard Pryor get called into this office one day. He's a regular old dude, and they tell him he just inherited all of this money, but before he can do it, he has to give away, he has to spend a certain amount of millions of dollars with nothing to show for it. They had nothing to show for it at the end, and they gave him like a year to do it. So he couldn't figure out how to spend the money. He figured out run for office, right? But only his campaign slogan was none of the above. Don't vote for none of us.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so Brewster's Millions, it's hilarious, but it was telling us something.
Okay.
And that's what I thought Ross Perot was doing when he dropped out the race. Until the next race when Forbes ran. Then we got all these business tycoons trying to get into office. So now the third one, he get right in office. And I'm like, wait a minute. 3 knocks to a finish. 3 knocks to a finish. You need a liquidator. You need somebody, the billionaire that's been through the billionaire bankruptcy multiple times. So they gave us first Perot, right? He didn't get in. Then they gave us Forbes. He didn't get in. And then, boom, here comes Donald John Quavius, the Trump card himself. You know, they made that movie, Howard the Duck, supposed to have been about him.
Okay.
He's Donald the Duck, but they can't use Donald the Duck because it was patented by Disney, so they used Howard the Duck.
Okay.
But they still mean Daffy the Duck. And Daffy the Duck is the Darkwing Duck. The Darkwing Duck is the one you don't see coming. So you got all these codes they've been dropping in our face, hitting us with codes left and right. A lot of them are tribal codes from old tribal lingo that we used to talk amongst ourselves and make fun jokes with this stuff. But then when the colonizers came, they became lifelines. Right? So we go, a fake chief is a Jayhawk. He ain't a real hawk. He's just a blue jay pretending to be a hawk. He's the Jayhawk. He's a fraud. Right? A Pocahontas. She's just an actress. She's a pretender. That's what the name means. So anytime somebody made up a story, the girl name was always Pocahontas because the story made up. But now when we hear the story of Pocahontas, we think it's a real story. So we don't remember the culture. But if you just look at what the name means in the tribal tongue, it tell you that she's a playful girl or a girl that's acting. Central casting been around a long time.
And that's something that President Trump always says. So even when he met with the military right before he shut down the government, he met with the military, and one of the things he said in that speech was, "Looks like central casting to me." And I thought, where did that come from?
He has to tell it. He has to put it in the public, but he don't have to explain what it means.
Okay.
We got to figure it out.
Mm.
But if you know what central casting is, central casting is it's been around as long as Hollywood or longer. And they use people, they really got in with crisis actors, and I think that was around the 60s or 70s when they start looking for crisis actors. Crisis actors is the ones who specialize in going through trauma.
Mm-hmm.
We all got crisis actors that come into our life, and we can't wait for that SOB to leave and stop telling me all the blues. I don't want to sing the blues with you, mother. Get out of here. Right? So he have to tell you that they central casting, but he don't have to. He tell you individuals. She's central casting. He's central. He just point them out. This is he's a fine gentleman, even though he's central casting. He's telling you all of the people that they're using actors to fulfill the position because they dismantling it. And they don't want you to know it's gone until it's gone. It can't come back no more. We at that point where now it can't come back.
Mm.
We can go around with our red, white, and blue American pride and swing our Old Glory flags all we want to. Old Glory gone.
Mm.
Get out of here. 1776, bicentennial 1976 to the 2025 250 don't matter. They out of here. It's just a matter of now. Remember, we having the 250-year celebration, which I've been calling National Mardi Gras for almost 8 years now. Starting next year. It's supposed to start this year.
It was, yeah.
But there was too much dirt to clean up. They couldn't get it all cleaned in time.
I think it was Memorial Day.
Yeah. So what did they do? They gave us a 4-year false because the legal fiction, you can put anybody in charge of it, including an imbecile.
Facts.
Because it's a fiction. So they put a blatant, obvious situation of a man that's totally unhinged, but everybody's saying Trump unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they put a guy in, even if it was an actor. The actor was acting as a buffoon on purpose. Right? I posted a couple years ago one of Biden's sons talking about the Congress people was making fun of him because he had dementia.
Mm.
Right? That's an old post. I'm gonna dig it up and send it to you, and then you can go over it at another time.
Okay.
Right? But the whole thing being is this is a parody.
Yep.
Right? It's a parody.
That's
when you see the parody, this is a reenactment of what Elijah Muhammad wrote in Fall of America.
That's a fact.
Right? So they needed a script writer. They got to have a script. If they don't have a script, then they don't know what to do next. We watching them play out a 3-dimensional version of the Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad.
Mm.
Now, the codes that's being dropped is showing you who's being triggered. Right? So when you talk about the Epstein files and they trying to slow leak them out, and then the Bundy situation happened in Australia. So what's the significance of Australia? Australia is the top of the earth. Now remember that they always said that the South would rise again. Remember that saying? The South will rise again, right? The Australia is the southernmost portion of inhabited continents that is not covered with ice. Antarctica is a whole nother. It's not far from Australia.
They have an Asgard dimensional portal gateway in that landmass too.
Mm-hmm. They got a legend of when they was looking for the baby Heru, ISIS, running across the outback of Australia in search of cover where they built some Egyptian shrines. Most of us don't know that. But the Australia's shape is the Ashanti Sea. The shape of Australia is the Ashanti Sea.
Wow.
Okay, now Pam Bondi, her first name Pam flips map in the revert.
Oh, wow. That's so where is this basically lining up to? Because like I said, all this stuff is really nothing but a codex.
Yeah, because it's playing out history in reverse because everything is being rehashed. Yeah. Now look, she's an attorney general, right?
Yep.
But she's not a bar member. What attorney is not a bar member? One that's belligerent to the barrister system.
Right.
Right. This, I think you got this for me. This was
Yep.
the
Yeah, you
charter.
sent me all these. Yep.
Yeah. The charter. This is where King George II told them in this charter to use their judicial system in order to take everything from us. Did you get to the ones that was underlined?
I don't think I got those because it was a whole bunch of stuff you sent me yesterday. I couldn't keep up. You sent me a bundle.
Yeah, we were just going back and forth. We was triggering my responses.
But yeah, this is pretty much. I got like some of these, but the other ones I didn't get to pull them up.
The ones that got the underline in them is showing you exactly where they telling the barristers to use the system to take everything from us. Right? These are I can't see them to read them or nothing, but these are actual screenshots of the actual bar charter.
Can you see it a little better now?
Yeah, but there you go.
Okay.
Right, so right here it tells you 1732. King George II, by the grace of God in Great Britain, France, and Ireland, King, defender of the faith, and so forth, to all whom these presents shall come greeting. Right? Then he starts. A little bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah.
That shit feel like reading.
Yeah, I don't mind reading.
Move it over to okay, so when you blow it up, you got to be able to slide it side to side to read.
Okay.
You can blow it up to one page at a time.
Okay. And I just all right. Well, you trying to read the top right?
On my screen, it's the top left.
Oh, you trying to read the top left? Okay. Let's see. Oh, no, they don't let me get it no bigger. They don't let me go side to side with it too much. But you trying to read this left side? It really just basically goes into hold on.
So you start off telling you who it is that's issuing this order. Right? And then it goes into the order. The order is the charter. The charter established honorary nobles. This is why they carry those titles, Esquire, Honorable. Those are titles of nobility.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, King Charles, he just denounced his nomenclature title.
They all got to surrender everything back.
Wow.
And they doing it in layers. So the Rothschilds had to surrender the charter document, right? That's because the Rothschild bankers who drew this bullshit up. They the ones who's holding the paperwork that's tying us to all of the contracts. Right. Now you gotta always remember in the back of your mind is 72 secret treaties that still have not been exposed to the public. That's why the real reason they raided Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago mansion looking for those 72 secret treaties but he didn't have them no more. They was with the military in Raven Rock, Colorado.
That's why you were showing me Denver.
Yeah, because we was going through the horses, right? And the blue horse is the only horse that's not in the Bible. But the blue horse in reality is actually a shade of gray, just like a blue pit or a blue Cane Corso.
Yeah.
Right? They got a shade of gray. It's a bluish gray color. Right? So if you look up Silver Bell County, I think it's either Colorado or Montana, they got a lake. It's called Emerald Lake.
Yeah.
And it got, the Emerald Lake have a spot specifically for the Crystal City to land. Because it got to be in close proximity to a small body of water because of, living. Right. So they can recycle the systems and replenish the water that they've depleted. But it's going to be sitting there for a while.
Now, with all that going on.
And when Trump took office the first time, one of the generals came out and told the public how the oath is stated, what the loyalty is, and how it's supposed to be cited, right? Most of the people in the Congress don't have an oath of office because they're not there legitimately. Only the ones with an oath of office is sitting in a legitimate seat. The rest of them is occupying a vacant office, is what it's called in law. Now, everybody that's occupying a vacant office, knowingly or unknowingly, is operating on the behalf of a foreign agency. Right now, you have to find out what's the foreign agency that they represent, and you find out that about 90% of them are all members of the bar. So that tell you that they tied to the British accreditation registry of barristers that work for the Crown of England. The thing about the Brunson case was so fundamentally damaging to them is if the court ruled against them, it's going to show that they're a fraud. But if they ruled in favor for them, several of the Supreme Court justices have to step down because they have no oath of office. So they put them in a pickle, a catch-22 situation, right? And the only way they normally try to hush those cases from the public, but the Brunson brothers, right, is a little bit savvy to how they operate. Right, their last name Brunson is an anagram for bird son. It's tied to the Scottish Rite and it's tied to the Daughters of Scotland. And remember, the mama's boys only come out to get mama shit. They're not coming for nothing else. They don't want personal gain.
Right.
They just want mama's stuff to be returned. In this case, they using the burn sons, the ones who get burned in the sun with the fiery red hair.
Celtics, Druids.
So it's spiritually it's strategic, and it's also strategic in the legal sense of the word because it's putting the system in the position to expose the nature of the fraud they operate under, and all of the people are complicit in operating under the fraud for the personal gain that they were seeking. Very few of them is in these positions to help people. Most of them in there to help themselves. And that's why they can be bought and sold. Picked and traded.
So this goes into this.
ALJs, administrative law judges. They not Article 3 judges.
Facts.
Right. Now, they're operating as the term in law is called Admiralty Adjunct Court. An adjunct court is like an offshoot of another court. So when you get charged criminally in state court and you get there with your state Supreme Court appeal and you have to go into the federal court, it's not criminal any longer. Soon as you enter into the domain of the federal court, it becomes legislative, it becomes civil action.
Mm-hmm.
Now, under the rules of court in Michigan, you're not supposed to hold a person in prison for a civil penalty. Right? So federally, they holding people in prison for a civil penalty, but they reclassify him in the admiralty jurisdiction as criminal.
That's because of the 14th Amendment, which is a fraudulent contract that wasn't ratified.
Right. No, but not only that, the 14th Amendment is to take, okay, so the 13th Amendment was to take the privacy of ownership of people from people. Right? Because slavery started off as private ownership, sole proprietorship. Right? The 13th Amendment banned that. The 14th Amendment turned around and said, okay, you can't do it as an individual, but as the state, we can do it. So we're going to use what we call the criminal justice system, and we're going to put everybody in time out for how long we need them. And if you look at the sentencing has gradually increased over the years.